Honey and climbing do not rhyme, so it starts over with A. Climbing. Climbing and stair do not rhyme, so it goes to B. So we have identified our rhyme scheme for the entire poem. Now we're going to actually read the poem. The first time we read, we're going to stop and we're going to notice figurative language. And we also will notate how figurative language reveals the author's main message, the speaker's main message, because it is poetry, so it's not an author, it is a speaker. We're also going to identify how figurative language reveals a mood and tone. So, line 1. Well, son, I'll tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It's had tacks in it and splinters and boards torn up and places with no carpet on the floor, bare. But all the time, I've been climbing on and reaching landings and turning corners, and sometimes going in the dark where there ain't been no light. So, boy, don't you turn back. Don't you sit down on the steps 'cause you find it's kind of hard. Don't you fall now, for I's still going, honey. I's still climbing. So what we hear is a lot of broken English. So you have to think about the time that this was written in. This was written back in during a time where a lot of things are going on. And I won't say too much because I want you guys to infer and pull a lot from the text. So think about the area in which this mother is living and why she's speaking that way. So let's look at the first stanza. Well, son, I'll tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It's had tacks in it and splinters. So just from this first stanza, I noticed that this is a metaphor. Life for me ain't been no crystal stair. So I'm gonna highlight this. And out to the side. I want to model to make sure that we are using complete sentences. So this is an example of a metaphor. Okay, let's keep going. And boards torn up and places with no carpet on the floor. There. But all the time, I've been a climbing on and reaching landings and turning corners. And sometimes going in the dark where there ain't been no light. So boy, don't you turn back. Don't you sit down on the stairs because you find it's kind of hard. Don't you fall now, for I's still going, honey. I's still climbing. And life for me ain't been no crystal stair. So now you're going to go back through and identify examples of figurative language. So pause this video, read through this poem again, and identify examples of figurative language. So I'm going to talk about the first stanza, and for me, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. This metaphor reveals that life has been hard for this mother. And boards turn up in places with no carpet on the floor. There. Possibly this mother was poor and not living in great conditions. But the last line, but she keeps going. And doesn't stop. And reaching landings and turning